آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله والبعث بعد الموت لا إله إلا الله آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله والبعث بعد الموت لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله.
In 2020, I have met a couple of guys, and it's not just in 2020, but since I think 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, if you have to say, in the past 4 years, I have been kind of trying to get married and meeting different guys, etc. And I have encountered a lot of different mentalities. It's not like I rejected all of them or that they rejected me. It's like you meet I'm talking about the arranged marriage kind of situation. If you have been through that, probably you can understand. It's not the way you show in movies. Actually, for me, it didn't work that way. Like you meet the person and then, you know, the first meeting itself, you already know that it's going to work out or not. So in my own case, I have been introduced to various people like relatives, acquaintances or co-workers, and I have agreed to meet someone for the first time over what you can call it a date, a kind of going out for lunch or coffee and just meeting someone to talk and get to know them. So I have been through all of that, and I think I can write an encyclopedia on that topic because I have met so many kinds of guys in different kinds of mentality, background, jobs, etc. So for me, what I want to talk about, like, I do believe that marriage is important because as Muslims, there is no other way to be with a person without being married. Like, as in a romantic partner, you can't be boyfriends, you can't just be with someone casually. So it is highly recommended to get married and do things in a halal way, which totally makes sense to me. I am a big fan of, I believe in marriage. I don't date, I don't believe in haram relationships, and I have no intention of ever getting in one. So may Allah protect us from all of that. However, we must admit that we have a huge problem in our community nowadays. I don't know if in your country there is that problem, but from what I have seen and read, it's like always the man and woman ratio is always at a huge disparity. So that's why in the past, like, you know, in Islam, a man can get married to 4 women. So nowadays, there are so many girls, small girls, unmarried, and a very tiny amount of guys. And the very tiny amount of guys that you have, even them, they are not ready to commit. Actually, I have had that experience. That's why I'm saying that. But I also know in my own country, in Mauritius, like a lot of my friends, my cousins, etc., they are not married. Some of them they are even in their 30s, but they are not finding anyone. And it's not just the fault of the girl. Like, some people say that you're being choosy, but it's a question of your life partner. Obviously, you're going to want to expect the best. It's not a joke. So for me, like, I have met so many people, like, you will be actually probably shocked. I don't know. I always thought that, you know, a guy would be kind of very flattered to have a wife who is very kind of pious, practicing, very passionate about her religion, modest, and etc. So there are many guys that I have met, like most of them, if not all, the majority of them, they are supposed to be Muslim, but when you meet them and you talk about religion and etc., you see that they are kind of, it doesn't interest them, which is kind of very sad and unfortunate, because I don't think long ago it was like that. I don't know. But I'm noticing this phenomenon becoming increasingly common now. Like, the guys, they are successful and they are good looking and they have everything that they need. They have a good job, etc. But they don't believe in God or in religion, and they totally don't care, or they don't even pray. So to me, if I meet someone and the first thing I notice about them is that they don't pray, then they don't even care about it. It's not like they don't pray and they feel guilty, or they know that they have a problem and they're struggling to get it right, which all of us do, but they just don't care, which to me is totally not compatible. I can't even imagine kind of spending my life with someone who is not praying. Like, I'm not talking about praying 5 times a day. You're not praying at all. Like, in a month, maybe you're not praying at all ever. And that's a huge problem. It's very shocking to me. I don't understand these people. Like, how do they go on about with their lives normally? Like, you are Muslim and you're supposed to be, not you're supposed to be, but it's actually a great joy for me. Praying and being Muslim is a matter of happiness. I can't imagine my life without it. So alhamdulillah, what happened was that yeah, every time it's like the main reason, if I have to highlight the main reason is that, of course, another big reason is because sometimes the person is not investing as much emotions and they might not be that into you, which is fair enough. Like, it's not a question of forcing someone. You have the right. Just like I have also met people and I felt like, I don't feel attracted to that person for whichever reason. There is nothing personal as such. So I don't take that personally, but I have so many anecdotes. Maybe I will do one specific video for each of the episodes or people that I encountered. But I remember, like, once there was a guy who actually kind of rejected me, and he told me that I am a bit too religious for him and we are not compatible. So I appreciate the honesty that at least he has told me that. But I must say that I was very shocked and heartbroken and depressed, because I don't understand. Sometimes God makes it so difficult. You're trying to do something in the halal way, in the correct way. You're not committing adultery, you're not having haram relationships, as everyone is having nowadays. I'm sure you will agree. So you're preserving yourself and you don't even get anything in return. Like, it's not just about me. So sometimes you do ask yourself that question, like, I am doing all these efforts and look what I am receiving in return. So I remember I was on the treadmill about to start my jogging and I saw that message and I immediately stopped. I couldn't run, obviously. I was crying and I told myself, like, I'm never going to ever go through that arranged marriage thing, because I'm only meeting people who are not interested, who don't want to commit, people who are not practicing Muslim. So why the hell am I punishing and torturing myself, like humiliating myself like that every time? I have to do the hard job. I have to be the one always to be like trying to inquire and trying to know what the person is feeling, trying to reach to a conclusion and know what's the next step. So at one point you see enough is enough. So right now I'm totally not interested at all in marriage, and I'm never going to actually consider any guy. Right now I have decided that the marriage thing is probably not for me. If Allah is showing me every time like it's not working out, so I would not try again. That's my personal decision. And there are many people, it's not like I haven't tried. It's like I have tried around, I think I have met around 10 guys, if I'm not wrong. I need to write it on a paper. Some of them I have even forgotten. Like, I have met so many different guys. Some of them stayed in my life for a bit longer than others, and I don't know, like, sometimes it's funny, it's kind of amusing when I think of it. It's like a movie kind of situation, but most of the time I just feel like it was just a massive waste of emotions. And times maybe it was a lesson, because yeah, it's true that after those breakups or disappointments I did become more mature, more self-aware, more intelligent, and more kind of stronger, because now I know who I am and what I want from life. And most importantly, before ending this video, I just want to make a little message to all sisters watching out there, especially if you're unmarried or struggling to get married. I know that at a certain age, like, people are going to kind of pressurize you in getting married. Everyone, wherever you go, they will be like, as if on your forehead there is a sign that, there is a notice that you are not married. So everyone will be kind of making you feel like there is something wrong with you if you're not married or not in a relationship. And you will feel the pressure sometimes when you see on social media people broadcasting their relationship or engagement or marriage pictures, which is totally, of course, it makes you, if you are heartbroken and you feel lonely and you already feel like a failure, as a single person, I would advise you to not see those images, because it will only make the pain bigger. So what you have to do is stop comparing yourself with others and stop feeling like there is a deadline to get married, and trust Allah. Like, if something has to happen, it will happen wherever you go, whatever you do. No one will be able to take that away from you. So if it doesn't have to happen, it will not happen. So stop like fighting against the current and focus on other things, like focus on your career, on your education, and your well-being. There are so many things you can do. And don't idealize marriage as well. Don't think like, marriage or being in a relationship is like a perfect antidote to all your problems and life will be better forever after. It's certainly not the case. I have no experience in marriage, but I have experience in relating to guys in before kind of getting married or going through all that stuff, and I can tell you that it's not that easy. It's certainly not in the way movies picture it. So that will be it for me in this video that was supposed to be very short, but it became.
صلى عليك الله يا خير الورى تعداد حبات الرمال وأكثرا صلى عليك الله